All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Let me turn this music down a little bit. All right. Hey there, Goal Slayers. Welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome to another edition of the Go Getters Midday Session. I am here with you Monday through Friday, 12 noon. So hopefully you got your lunch or your coffee or your tea. This year, those of you who know me know I drank a lot of coffee. So this year, 2025, I have been experimenting with tea. So I got my tea today. I've already had my coffee, I already had my apple cider vinegar, already had my ginger shot. Um, and so now I'm having some elderberry tea. So welcome. Today I have a topic for you, and it was actually a last minute topic because it's something I've been working on last week, and it hit me differently. First, it surprised me, and then it hit me kind of differently than I thought. So I thought I'd make that our topic today. So the topic is about timelines. So a couple of years ago, even though this isn't really a timeline, a couple of years ago, I watched a video by David Arnold. He's a comedian, and he had a book that he called A Father's Legacy, and he was filling it out. And he was doing a video, and I think he pulled it from the shelf, and he says, "I've been working on this book and writing it out, so in case something happens to me, my daughters could read it." And then I was in 2020, and I ended up buying my husband a book, and then I found one for females. Can you see that? A Mother's Journey. And so I got one for myself, and I started filling it out. It has a lot of questions about recalling the past. And for those of you who know my story, heard my story, read my story in the book, my mom struggled with drug addiction. My father passed away when I was a month old. I grew up in Compton, and I didn't really have that parent, that family, that community that I thought I wanted. And that kind of set a perception about my life that I kept that story for a long time. But it wasn't until, I just had my granddaughter last June, and I'm writing a book for her called Grandma from A to Z. And I was in Five Below, and I saw a book by Zendaya, and it had Zendaya from A to Z. And I said, you know what, this will be good for me to write for my granddaughter. And so I got everything done this weekend, like the topics from A to Z, and it came out really, really good. Then I said, well, let me go ahead and work on my timeline just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And so I went through first I did my social proof, like my marriage license, my birth certificate, my diplomas, and try to make sure, because sometimes we think things happened, which exactly what happened to me. You think things happen, but then when you start putting down the social proof and the facts, you either things are worse than what you thought, or you start thinking about different things. And I have forgot a lot of things. I think because of some trauma that happened, I forgot about a lot of the good things. But anyway, so I'm writing this book. I started with the cookbook. So I've been working on a cookbook to leave. It's called the Legacy Series. So my goal is by this December to have my cookbook done, to have the book Grandma from A to Z. So I started working on my timeline in order to complete the book. And so I went through my marriage license, birth certificate. Then I went through my credit report to look at all my addresses, my jobs that I worked at. And then as I started thinking about, oh man, I forgot I worked at McDonald's. And I started thinking about my manager. I started thinking about my shifts. And I started thinking about the people I worked with. Then I was like, oh yeah, I went to Vanguard Junior High. And then I remembered, oh wait, I went to John Burroughs one year too because I lived with my aunt. I had totally forgot about going to John Burroughs. I totally forgot about living with my aunt. I promise you, I forgot about a lot of things. And I think I forgot some things on purpose. So I want to encourage you, if you do not have a timeline, and I'm going to read what I wrote just so I make sure that I'm just going to read what I wrote for that. So, when it comes to goal setting and goal achievement, understanding your personal timeline can be a game changer. Looking at where you've been can help you clarify where you're going. Your past experiences, decisions, and milestones provide valuable insights into your strengths, your challenges, and your patterns. So, by creating a timeline, you can see how each step has led you to where you are today, and to use that knowledge to set intentional goals for your future. And so, again, I was mentioning in 2020, I came across a video by David Arnold, and he did end up passing away. And it was such a sad, I mean, it's always sad when someone passes away. But when he did pass away, I remember that he talked about a book that he was journaling to record his life. I bought one, and then I bought one for my husband, and I bought one for myself. And I found that, these books are great tools to help you reflect on your journey and document your experiences. And so, especially for me, because I don't have pictures. Um, I don't have baby pictures of myself. I don't have pictures from school. I don't have pictures for my birthday. And so um, I don't have any records of my life. And so when you look at my daughter's life and you look at my son, I have lots of photos. And so I made sure that I took photos of them going to school, making sure I have photos of their birthday parties. And so some of those things seem small, yet when you don't have them, they become big. So even when I wanted to reference some things, I had no references. I was in Girl Scouts. I forgot I was in Girl Scouts, but I had no pictures of me being in Girl Scouts. And so I want to encourage now, if you are going through your timeline, I would encourage you to, how do I say this? It could be traumatic to remember some things that happened. It could be emotional to remember some things that happened, because now you're going to probably go through some deaths. You're going to go through some births. You're going to go through some trauma. But it is a good thing. So I would start with the day you're born and now, because you're gonna remember more now, your legacy. Like, I have a friend, Terry and Kent. They send a family letter every year. Every year they send out a letter, Christmas time, documenting, hey, the beginning of the year, Kent got a new job, or he retired, or the girls went to school, or this person graduated. And it kind of gives us a glimpse. And I save all of their letters, and since we've known them, and it kind of gives us. Now I remember her kids when one of them when she was pregnant with one of them. So to now watch her go to school and go through college is a good thing. So without rambling, creating a timeline, I would start with your date of birth, and then end with now, and then start putting in the facts, not what you think happened, facts. So like the day you graduated, the day you went to school, the day you was in fourth grade, the day you were in junior high, the day you were in high school, and put all the facts in. And then from those facts, start remembering and start documenting. Start documenting the awards you won. I forgot about some of the awards that I won. And so it was very interesting to go through that. Hey there, my son-in-law, my son in love, Jonah Kennedy, those of you who are watching. So I'm going to go through a couple of things. Why timelines matter. Timelines are more than dates. They map your life's journey and help you reflect. They help you reflect on to see how your past has shaped your present and your future. And it's an opportunity to celebrate, to highlight your milestones and your achievements. It's a time to set goals. Use your past experiences to guide your future. And to leave a legacy. Document your story for future generations. Like I said, I have a granddaughter, and then I'll probably have some more grandkids soon. Somebody on here, just like, and then I'll be able to give that cookbook to them. I'll be able to give that timeline to them. I'll be able to give that, tell them about me from A to Z, and they'll be able to talk about those stories. I'm not going to die with these stories in me. And I wish that, my grandmother, she picked cotton. She made toilet seat covers. I rarely remember that, but it would have been nice to get some more details about those stories on how she grew up and what she did. But when she passed away, her stories passed away with her. And so I want to make sure that that doesn't happen with me. So here's how to get started. We talked about brainstorming, listing memorable events, your personal milestones, your relationships, your career moments now. If you married and you have some other relationships, I don't know how you want to store that timeline. But it is important to try to remember. Sorry about that. It's important to try to remember. Did it just log me off Instagram? I think it just logged me off Instagram. Hold on. Try to log back in. Listing the events, writing down experiences freely without the concern for order. So maybe you want to list events that you're not sure of what those dates are. Like when I won an AXO competition, I think I went to Dallas, Texas. I know around when it happened, but not the exact dates. So then you can have your events. Arrange your event, then start organizing them chronologically or by theme. So like your family events, marriage, school, birthdays, family reunions, things like that, your career, the jobs you worked at. Add context. So after you start adding your things, now you want to add your photos. Again, I don't have photos. I was able to connect with because I have an aunt or cousin who documents all of our family's history on my dad's side. So I have photos of them. So I can use those. Let's see, adding visuals and then review and edit, filling in the gaps and then talk to people. Because once I get done with this, I'm going to, let me see if I can get back on Instagram really quick because it locked me out of Instagram. I don't think I can. Hold on. All right. Once I get done with this, I'm going to have a talk with my cousin, Trey. Trey, if you're listening, I'm going to call you. So once I get everything together, because she remembers everything. So going back and interviewing people, and this is a good opportunity if your goal is to do a memoir, you'll have your timeline. It's important. Let's see what your timeline teaches you. It teaches you patterns. Are there reoccurring themes like joy, change, or growth? Like we moved a lot. I knew we moved a lot, but then when I was doing my timeline, I was like, sis, you moved a lot. Gaps, what daily experiences shape the moments between milestones? Lessons, how have past experiences influenced who you are today? And then legacy, what stories would you share with your loved ones? Like when me and my husband met at the bank. So when you document, okay, I got married, and you're like, oh, when did I meet this person? And then it's like, how did I meet this person? And now that's how your stories start to evolve, especially as a writer. If you're a writer, you start thinking about, oh yeah, I remember this or I remember that. So some recommendations. They have a book called The Art of Memoir by Mary Carr. It's a deep dive into capturing your life experiences, writing your life, a guide to writing autobiographies. Your life is your story, writing the life of your story by telling your story. A Father's Legacy, which is the one that I got from David Arnold. And then this one, again, this isn't like a timeline, but it does, it asks you, one of the questions I answered yesterday was, what chores did you do as a kid? And I was like, oh, I watered the grass. Who waters the grass now? Like, what kids water the grass? I have not seen a kid maybe once or twice in my lifetime. But other than that, I have not seen a kid water the grass since I watered the grass. I watered the grass. I washed the dishes. I took out the trash. And so as I started writing those things, and I started remembering, I used to go to the store. Hey, go to the store and get me some milk or get me some bread. I would have never asked my kids at the age I was asked to go to the store. And then I would stop by my friend's house, and then we would go to the liquor store together. So just some of those things that I forgot about that I remembered as I started doing my timeline. And so when you are answering these type of questions, you get stories that come, and then it can add to your timeline. Lastly, I talked about that, using your credit report, using official school transcripts, because I forgot I went to Chaffey. I remembered Cerritos College. I remember some of the other colleges, but I forgot about Chaffey until I got my transcripts. Marriage license, birth certificates, it tracks your jobs and the milestones. All right, so your homework is to create your life timeline using the resources I recommended. I would highly suggest blocking out some time. Uh, I would suggest maybe doing your timeline alone, just in case you get a little emotional, or just in case something comes up, or just in case you relive some things. Maybe doing it alone, but with people in the house, if that makes sense. Um, so, yeah, thank you guys. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you find value in today. I hope that you consider creating a timeline of your life. This is a legacy piece that you can leave to your friends, your family, your grandkids. It's an opportunity for you to tell your story. And then, of course, you want to put your routines in. So maybe every Saturday or every Tuesday, Timeline Tuesday. So maybe every Tuesday, you're going to spend 30 minutes filling out your timeline or doing research. Ancestry.com, I forgot to put that on there. That's a very good resource uh, to help you with your timeline too. All right. All right, you guys, I'm about right at 15 minutes. I think that's usually our time around. Let me see if there's any questions. No questions. All right, you guys, have a great Monday. Thank